What is your American dream?
I'm from the Philippines. My American dream is to have a job wherein I can help people to achieve their dreams, which is the most important thing for me.
I'm American. I was born in New York, and my American dream is to constantly learn and grow and use whatever God's given me to help as many people as I can.
I'm from Belgium, and my American dream is to bring laughter and joy into people's lives through comedy.
My family background is West Indian with roots in Curacao, Guyana, and Puerto Rico. My American dream is to live in a country where everybody loves and respects one another.
My background is Irish and African American. My American dream would be to make enough to live a happy and fulfilling life.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Kim?
October 4th,
2019. It's Friday. I have, at some point, a completed.
Yep.
Wait. Completed. Are we complete? We have a completed Belgium Kim. Oh, man, we screwed up. We almost had it. We almost had them all fold. Everybody was going to be ready. It was perfect until Yonathan had to put the makeup kit away.
So, we can blame this on Yonathan?
Yes.
I prefer that.
Let me tell you something. We had a production meeting because we decided to have production meetings around 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Love it.
Yes, and really the only thing that we got out of the production meeting was that if anything goes wrong on the show, blame Yonathan. Because
I love that.
You want to know why? Because he wasn't there in the production meeting, so we always blame the person who's not there. So we had like 12 people were going around, and we really didn't have anything to talk about because everything's going very smoothly. So, I said, is there any issues? And they go, well, and I think it was Julian, the TriCaster guy, says, well, what if something goes wrong on the show? And I said, blame Yonathan. Does anybody second that?
No.
And everybody, we got a second, a third, a fourth, everybody
Unanimous.
agreed, blame Jonathan.
Yeah.
So there you got it.
Wow.
100%.
Thanks a lot,
There
family.
you got it. There you got it. You thought you had friends here,
Right. Stab in the back.
Stab right in the back.
Right
Well,
in the back.
Not if you skip the production meeting.
I was going to say, maybe next time you'll remember the production meeting, right? And you'll be here.
Right,
All right, let me say hello to, by the way, if there was ever a hashtag fake news, that entire story was hashtag fake news. There was only 3 people who said blame Yonathan, not one of us. Donay Gray.
No.
Donay Gray, how are you? Andreen Spence, Dion Watson, Lady Gaza, TK, what's going on? Mia Montauk, Christy Consali. Jessica Levy says, I love when Belgium Kim smiles.
Aww.
And you know what's funny? We were going through the American Dream. Every person, except the last person, is an employee here. So we kept going, right.
Well, because that was back in the day where it was just like, we just need humans on camera, please. Humans on camera as fast as we can.
That was the beginning. Mia Montauk, how are you? Cordella Douglas, Dawn Harriet, Myrtle Ray, Dion Watson, Peace Ann Asinobi, how are you? Ann Easy, how are you? Cordella Douglas, Madukes. By the way, today is an anniversary.
It is?
Did you know what the anniversary of today is?
No.
I'll give you a hint.
Yeah,
LinkedIn told me.
Oh.
Is it your work anniversary?
Not my work anniversary.
It's Spar Bernstein's anniversary?
No. It's Jilly Bean's 2-year anniversary.
Oh.
Yes, 2 years ago to the day, Jilly Bean came and turned our little radio show into all of this.
Which you know what that actually means.
What?
That means that it is also very close to the 2-year anniversary of Brad Show Live.
That is right. Jilly started about 2 weeks before we went on live on Facebook and YouTube in our new studio and did everything, as a television show instead of what, I don't know what you call it, a digital show, I guess, instead of, I don't even know what we call what we do, digital show, that's what we call it, versus just a radio show that we just had if you go back more than 2 years ago, what you'll see is I was doing a radio show and we just turned on my telephone.
We have come a long way.
We've come a long way, right?
We have come far.
Yes. So congratulations, Jilly. She made it 2 years.
2 years.
Right?
Woo!
And,
Brad.
What?
I said 2 years with Brad.
2 years with Brad. Let me tell you something. Last night she said to me, "It ain't easy 2 years with you, Brad. It's not easy." My ex-wife said that too, but that was 15 years.
Is there like an It Ain't Easy Bernstein club?
Yeah, there could be.
It's like in the Little Rascals, the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
Yes, exactly. Jean Love says hello to everybody. Floyd Boyd, how are you? Cordella Douglas, double fisting. Max Santos, back it up. Ricky, backing it up for Friday night.
Yeah.
DJ Killer Buzz is in the house. I wonder where he's going to be playing tonight.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Somewhere I'm going to avoid.
Maybe.
Don't kill my buzz.
Why would you avoid it?
Because I'm not trying to have my buzz killed tonight,
maybe
Brad.
his music's good, man.
I mean, let's
Maybe,
do
we gotta
it.
find out.
Wiki.
Wouldn't we love? Wouldn't it be great?
Wiki.
You know,
Please
if
don't.
Facebook allowed music, it
Right.
doesn't. But
Yeah.
if Facebook allowed music, I would have DJ Killer Buzz right here between me and you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know, spinning some tunes. You don't say that anymore, spinning tunes, right? It's like I've just dated myself.
No.
What would you
I feel like
spinning some tunes?
spinning the vinyl.
Spinning on the ones and twos.
Spinning on the ones and twos?
That seems not as current. That seems less current.
What would you say? What would you say DJ Killer Buzz would be doing here?
Like I would.
Killing your buzz?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I would have music if it wasn't for Facebook.
On the ones and twos.
We
Spin on the ones and twos.
almost had that.
Yeah.
We almost.
Wouldn't it
Do you
be
remember? We almost had like
A
an
DJ?
8-hour-long DJ
Yeah.
set. That
Would it be-
was
I don't know if we should have a DJ or we should have like a whole house band, like
like the Tonight
like
Show.
the Tonight Show, right?
Yeah, I
That would
got
actually
it.
be
That would be
cool.
dope, right?
great.
That'd be dope.
We could riff with them.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Right, but now we have to be able to find musicians who want to work for very little money. That's all.
Right.
And Facebook has to be able to allow us to do it.
And also, we need to expand out this studio because I don't
was
know
about
where
to
we
say.
fit a 4-piece band.
Oh,
Brad.
we'll fit them right here behind you. They'll all be right
And then
behind
you
you.
need like a
Don't you?
stage to do like stuff in the middle, like between the band and us. You know what I mean?
like for our skits and
Yeah.
stuff,
Yes.
for our
Yeah.
on-air live
Yeah,
exactly.
skits. Okay.
This is a whole Jimmy Fallon.
Well,
you.
I will tell you that YouTube has invited us into their studios. We just have to accept and go and do it. They have much bigger studios than
Right.
They
what we
do.
have here.
Yeah.
So maybe one day we will do it.
We
I would
migrate
be
to the
down for that.
Maybe one
YouTube.
way they will do it. And you know what some people say in the comments, not at this particular moment, but I've seen in the past, is they want Bradshaw Live with the studio audience.
We could do
Bradshaw
that. at
Live
YouTube.
with
We
the studio
could.
audience. What do you think of Bradshaw Live with the studio audience?
That would be pretty awesome.
Would you be scared to do it, like looking out at the
Absolutely
whole
not.
Brad squad? Like, oh my God, it's one thing to be like talking to Tamika or Lisa Bling or, Dawn Harriet or Myrtle Ray, or, Jean Bless or Annie or Tracy Lacey on, and by the way, those were just the names I just saw right in front of me right now. I don't want you to think that I avoided anybody.
Right.
But just seeing them physically staring at you like 3 feet away in a studio audience, would that scare you?
Absolutely not. I've hosted with thousands and thousands of people at
Yeah,
concerts.
me
so.
too.
No
Thousands,
problem.
tens of thousands, millions of
problem.
people at all the concerts I too have definitely
Right.
hosted.
Well, I have made both opening and closing statements in front of a jury of 6.
Oh, nice,
So,
nice.
so
There you
that's the most people I've ever performed.
We're
in front
super
of.
fly, Brad.
Yes, that's the most people I've ever performed live in front of. It's one thing to have a TV camera. You're like, I don't see anybody out there. I don't know
Right.
who's looking at
But
this.
then you have all
and
these
then all
eyes
these
on you,
eyes
like-
on you. Like, what you looking at? I think that would be strange.
I feel like they would add a ton of energy. Like,
Yeah?
I feel like they would be a Maury type crowd.
Really?
Like, for our callers, they'd just be like, whoa, whoa. Like, I feel like they would go
freeze
crazy.
and be like,
Oh, no.
or
oh,
would you
no.
be like,
You'd
totally loose?
Feed off the energy.
You know what I would love to do if we did have a studio audience,
Okay.
which we don't.
Which we don't, but
I would love
Yeah.
to make my entrance coming down from the back of
like
the studio
Ellen,
audience.
like dancing
And
through
then,
the
like,
aisle.
high-fiving people, hugging people, coming down the
Kissing
aisle.
babies.
It's like the
All of
steps
that good
going down
stuff.
to the bottom.
That is a vivid dream that Brad
that
has
is a
had
vi- that is a-
frequently,
that
y'all.
is-
Right.
I had that dream last night. I woke up And then it was pitch dark in my room. I go, wait, where am I? Where am I? I go, who shut the lights off in the studio? Who else we got here? Sandra Salinas, Layla, Prosper, Ika Chiwoko says, big congrats.
Oh.
On what? We haven't won
2
anything.
years.
2 years.
Chili Beans 2 years.
Boy, that was like 10 minutes ago.
That was
I'm a little
people,
pale. Yeah.
people are on a delay
I
too.
see,
You don't
I
know
see,
when
I
people
see,
will
I
see
see, I
it. They
see.
could pause us and
That's
then
right.
restart.
This is
Well,
true.
but I want you to know something. Jilly did all of this, you know, because I remember when she first came to me, I would just get on the radio and just answer immigration questions, and she's like, "Is that what you want to do, or do you want to make a digital TV show?" I said,
Right.
I want to make a digital TV show.
Wow.
And then I said to her, and I want to come from the back of the studio audience and come down and high five everybody. But she hasn't done that part yet.
Not
Tiny
yet.
problem. We don't have a back or a studio
Right, and we don't
audience.
have stairs.
None of that. Yeah, because we
what-
don't own any other floors.
Yes, but maybe we should do that. We should think about that. And by the way, we did not forget, Facebook won yesterday the competition.
That's right, they did.
For the free consultation.
They did.
And on Monday,
Yeah.
we're going to pull out of the drum. On Monday, we're going to pull out of the drum a name of the people who commented on the Facebook show yesterday to give a free consultation. So please watch on Monday, and you may be picked out of the drum for a free consultation.
Congratulations.
In the meantime, Belgium Kim and Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias. It's very low viewership today.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Okay,
what's
we
not
couldn't
Friday.
even
Friday.
we couldn't even fill a studio audience if we tried with the number of people watching right now.
Actually, we definitely could.
Yeah, because I'll let you know, Marlene Rossi said she would drive to come see the show. Now, I don't know how far away she lives, but I feel like that implies a long distance.
Let me
So
tell you
thank
something.
you, Marlene.
Maybe what we should do is drive and do the show in her house.
Wait, going on tour and taking BSL from Brad Squatter's homes
Yes.
would be really fun. You know, like Publishers Clearinghouse, you never
like
know when we're going to pop up.
You knock on the door with a bunch of balloons and two people behind me. Like, hey, we're doing the show from your living room. Pull over.
We have no check, but we have a camera crew full of people. That's so
All right, why
weird.
don't you tell everybody how to share and while I get ready for schmoozing.
All right, family, make sure that the first thing that you do is become a member of the official Brad Show Live Brad Squad. That's the one and only Facebook group, and we're going to link it in the comments right now. Yonathan and I are going to be standing by to accept those requests because you're not going to want to miss that, family. You're not going to want to miss it at all because it's the only place where you can get a during the show advantage, a special little edge for all those questions we don't get to. The first 5 immigration questions that get asked in that Facebook group every single day are the first 5 questions that we will ask for your social media check-in, and they are the only questions that we will guarantee to answer. Yo-Yo, what else should they do on Facebook?
On Facebook?
Yeah.
Wait, what did you say? What else?
Because
did you
all
say?
I did was join the group.
Oh, okay.
I'm switching it up.
Oh, you switching it up.
Well, let me tell you something, Belgium Kim. What we have learned is that Yonathan is not paying attention to anything that you are saying.
He's like, wait, no.
But maybe it's Friday.
I'm sorry.
Maybe it's Friday. So, you know.
I shouldn't have sprung it on him. No.
Like, it just caught me off guard. All right, everybody on Facebook, we definitely need you guys to share right now. We are only at 92. We're going up slowly, but I know it's just Friday, so this is the day that we have to put extra effort in sharing. You guys won yesterday, so we're going to definitely pick one of your names out next week, but today, make sure you show just as much of love in sharing just like you did yesterday, okay? I need you guys to do that right now. So in order to share, all you have to do is click on that little arrow that says share it to anybody's page, share it to group, share it in the inbox, but let's host a watch party. I saw a couple people who host watch parties and it sent me little ding notifications, and that's because we're friends.
And by the way, Sandra Salinas, she's right on it. She goes, 80 people, oh, man, that's lame. I'm starting my watch party right now.
There you go.
There you go, Sandra.
There you go.
That's the right move.
And watch it go up, because starting a watch party really helps with the viewership, because you get, like I said, it sends a ding notification to your entire friends list. But when you do that, make sure you go in the comment section, tell them about the show, and also tell them to come on to the main stage, which is this right here. And make sure you tell them to subscribe and click that little bell, all right? So what else are we gonna do on YouTube?
On YouTube, make sure that you do that same thing about sharing by copying that link. And family, I don't care where or how you send this to all of your people, but you're gonna paste that link, and that's the place they can immediately go to get their answers to their immigration questions. Brad's gonna start answering phone calls. Brad's gonna answer your social media questions. Now is the time to share it with your people. So copy that link and send it. Make sure that you've subscribed to our YouTube channel and hit that little bell. And of course, as always, tell us what you think and feel in the comments, fam, because we're gonna be paying attention, calling you out, and you never know when you might get selected to be part of our comments of the day. And now is the time you have all been waiting for, because we're gonna be schmoozing with Brad.
All right, so what's new today? The impeachment train is leaving the station. Impeachment, what's your function? Kicking out Donald and making America right.
Hell yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
Little Schoolhouse Rock?
I love it. I love it.
Rock. That
I
was
love
my
it.
show.
Impeachment, what's your function? Kicking out Donald and making America right. I don't know. I'm just making up the song.
I think I only know I'm just a bill in conjunction junction.
You know,
I'm
just
just
a
a
bill.
bill.
Yes,
Yes,
I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Now I'm stuck.
What about,
in
do you remember,
committee.
there was also, I'm really dating myself, but when there were cartoons, we're going to get to what's impeachment in 1 second, but when I was a little boy, watching cartoons on Saturday morning, this was before cable and internet, it was like the only time when the new cartoons would come out every Saturday morning. There was always this little guy who said, you know, and I forgot what it was, you know, you take these 2 crackers and put some peanut butter on it, you can make the wagon wheel, so you don't have to ever get up from watching the cartoons and tell your mother, you know, it's a good breakfast to have peanut butter and crackers. And I would always tell my mother, Mom, look, the commercial. All right, he's saying, don't leave, I want to watch the cartoons, Miguel and Gorilla, the superheroes, everybody, and it was 12 o'clock Shazam, that kind of ended it, and then college football came on. My mom's like, I'm not feeding you peanut butter and crackers for breakfast. I always wanted it, and to this day, maybe one. You know what? I'm 51 years old. Damn it, tomorrow.
It's time.
You're gonna have.
I'm gonna have peanut butter and crackers
As
tomorrow.
you should.
As I should. Meanwhile, so impeachment is leaving the station today. Kurt Volker, the State Department's former special envoy for the Ukraine.
Yeah.
He testified before 3 congressional committees leading the House's impeachment inquiry into Donald Trump. Now, he testified about all the different text messages that went between him and Rudy Giuliani, who is now, if this was a mob movie, the Don's consigliere.
Right, his right-hand
His right-handed consigliere.
Consigliere.
Right, and another gentleman by the name, and I don't see, it's with an S, I forgot his name, Sondland, Gordon Sondland, who is the European Union ambassador.
Right.
I didn't even know there was a European Union ambassador, but apparently there's an ambassador to the European Union plus an ambassador to each individual European country.
Right.
So they were texting back and forth. And the reason that they were texting back and forth is that they were trying to get the president of the Ukraine to say that he is going to start an investigation because there was major corruption in the Ukraine, in the prosecutor's office, and that the former prosecutor in Ukraine who was fired should have investigated Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden along with the company that Hunter Biden was a member of the board, and that company was the Burisma, which was the gas company in Ukraine.
Right.
Now, we talked about it yesterday, and we said, you know, what the hell is Hunter Biden doing on a gas company in Ukraine? Yes, perfectly good question. But to this moment, there has been absolutely not a scintilla of evidence to say that he broke a law or that Joe Biden broke a law.
Right.
Not, as a matter of fact, President Trump was repeatedly warned by his own staff that the Ukraine conspiracy theory between Biden's son, this gas company that he and Giuliani were pursuing is completely debunked, meaning that the U.S. intelligence, all of the U.S. intelligence agencies looked into this and they said there's nothing there. Biden's did nothing wrong.
Right.
So it was already looked into by the U.S. intelligence.
Wow.
Department of Homeland Security, the head, said, Trump, it's reported. I wasn't there in the conversation.
Right.
But it's reported that the head of the Department of Homeland Security told Donald Trump there's nothing there.
Nothing there.
Which is why Donald Trump now goes to the Ukraine.
Right.
In my opinion, this is I'm giving you my opinions now.
100%.
Okay? Why he went to the Ukraine. Because he said, U.S. intelligence says there's nothing wrong. I got to find somebody to say the Bidens did something wrong.
Right.
I got to do this whole crooked Hillary thing on Joe Biden now. Just like he did with the 2016 email server.
Right.
So he goes to Zelensky, the president, in this telephone call on July 25th, and he says, listen, you want the $50 million in aid that's already been promised to you.
Right.
You want to meet with Vice President Pence.
Right.
You want to meet with me in Poland and then be invited to the White House.
Right.
Because you want good relations with the United States because Russia has invaded part of your country and you need the United States to come and protect you.
Right.
And I'm paraphrasing what Donald Trump said, but this is basically it.
Right.
You got to give me some dirt on Joe Biden. You have to reopen this corruption investigation, and I want you to not only investigate corruption in the Ukraine, but I specifically want you to investigate the corruption of Hunter Biden as a board member of this company, Burisma. So after that, prior to and after that, Trump's aides started to try to get the Ukraine on board with what Donald Trump wanted.
Right.
We know, as far as we know, to this moment, Hunter Biden's done nothing wrong. Joe Biden's done nothing wrong.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird that he's on the board there. Okay, and maybe there was some nepotism involved.
Yeah.
And I probably, if he wasn't the former vice president's son, he would not be there.
Right.
But not a crime.
Not a
Right.
crime.
Okay, so Volker wrote to the U.S. ambassador. Now, Volker was the ambassador to the Ukraine. He wrote to the U.S. ambassador to the European Union, who's also from the United States, Gordon Sondland, all working for Donald Trump, on July 19th, 6 days before Donald Trump's telephone call with President Zelensky from the Ukraine. This all came out Thursday night after we got off the air, by the way.
Right.
I had breakfast with Rudy this morning, teeing up the call with Yermak. Yermak is Zelensky's right-hand man.
Right.
Must have helped. Most important is for Zelensky to say that he will help the investigation and address any specific personnel issues if there are any. Now, a second text message. Now, on the morning of July 25th, Trump had the call with Zelensky, and we've gone through that. Now, there was a second text message. Okay? I heard from the White House. Assuming President Z convinces Trump he will investigate and get to the bottom of what happened in 2016, we will nail down a visit to Washington. Okay? Meaning, he ain't invited to Washington, D.C. to meet Donald Trump unless he gives Donald Trump some dirt that doesn't exist.
Right.
Okay? So now, the next day, I'm sorry, on August 9th, so I'm not sure which next day it is, but I believe this is August 9th, okay, Yermak wrote to Volker. Zelensky's right-hand man wrote to Volker. It gets confusing, so I want to go through this very slowly.
Absolutely.
Okay? Once we have a date, we will call a press briefing announcing an upcoming visit and outlining a vision for the United States-Ukraine relationship, including, among other things, Burisma, which was the company that Biden was the board on, and election meddling and investigations. So they understood that in order to get a meeting with Trump, they have to investigate Burisma and investigate the Ukrainian meddling in the U.S. elections, which was also debunked by the Department of Homeland Security. The meddling was done by Russia. The meddling was done by Russia. We know this because that's what Mueller put in his report. Now, a source familiar with the matter told CNN that the Ukrainian government wrote the initial draft of a statement for public release committing to pursuing this investigation. What they didn't do was they didn't say, we are going to investigate as part of this corruption Burisma and Biden. Trump wanted those two words in there. Burisma and Biden, because it serves his own political benefit.
Absolutely.
If he did not get in a statement from the Ukraine, we are going to investigate corruption, and specifically Burisma and Biden, the Ukrainian president was not meeting with Donald Trump in the White House. He was not meeting with Vice President Pence. And there was a meeting between Trump and the president in Poland, which was called off, and you're not getting $250 million. That is basically what we learned from this.
Such a clear timeline.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that statement, when they said Bolin and Volker, Burisma and Biden was not going to be in the Ukrainian statement, that was shared with Rudy Giuliani.
Right.
Through Volker and Sondland, the ambassadors to the Ukraine and the ambassador to the European Union.
Right.
And Giuliani told Volker it was not enough. And in a text message suggested inserting references to pursuing probes of Burisma and the 2016 election, although Giuliani did not specifically mention the Bidens in his text message. Now, behind the scenes, concerns were raised by a senior U.S. diplomat in Ukraine, Bill Taylor, that the $250 million, which now is being reported that it was $400 million military aid, was being held up by the July 25th call. Volker testified to the House committees that he had urged the Ukrainians not to interfere in U.S. politics, and the Ukrainians were concerned about the meeting being put on hold. Now, Taylor, who is the U.S. senior diplomat in Ukraine, texted Sondland, the ambassador to the European Union, "Are we now saying that security assistance and White House meeting are conditioned on investigations?" And Sondland responded, "Call me."
He knows.
He
Sondland knows.
He didn't say no.
Right.
He said, "Call me." Similar to when my son texted me yesterday, and he said, "Can I go to a concert? Mom said no."
Oh.
And I said, call me. I didn't say no. I didn't say yes. I said, call me. Exactly the same exact thing.
And was it something along the lines of like, whatever your mom said?
Well, we had a secret meeting that didn't require
a closed door meeting.
That didn't require any text message interference with mom.
Right.
Okay?
You didn't want any ability to screenshot whatever you were going to reply.
Correct. Yeah. So, Sondland and Taylor took a playbook right out of my dealings with my son. He said, this is a key thing. Are we now saying, this is the top diplomat in Ukraine, to the ambassador to the European Union, in a text message on September 1st, 6 weeks after Trump said to the president of Ukraine, you must investigate all of this. Are we now saying that security assistance and the White House meetings are conditioned on these investigations? Call me. Call me. So that's what... So finally, a week later, okay, the diplomat, Bill Taylor, was even more concerned, texting Scotland. He said, "As I said on the phone, I think it's crazy to withhold security assistance to help with a political campaign." So we now know what the gist of the conversation was between Bill Taylor and Sondland.
Right.
Let's go through this very quickly.
Right.
Because I got to get to other things. Are we now saying that security assistance and White House meeting are conditioned on an investigation? Call me.
Right.
The next text message from the same guy. As I said on the phone.
Right.
I think it's crazy to withhold security assistance to Ukraine for help with a political campaign.
Right.
By the way, if I didn't make it clear, all of U.S. intelligence has already said Biden's did nothing wrong. Ukraine did not meddle in the U.S. elections.
Wow.
But this is what Trump is trying to get. It is using your position as the president of the United States for your own political gain. Okay. Now, I will say something. Mitt Romney, former presidential candidate for the Republican Party, lost to Barack Obama in 2012. Right? McCain was 08 and Romney was 2012, or vice versa. Right?
Yes, that's right.
Romney
McCain first, Romney 12. Yeah.
Okay. So Senator Mitt Romney, he's a senator. Republican. Former presidential candidate for the Republican Party. Okay? He wrote in a tweet today, when the only American citizen President Trump singles out for China's investigation is his political opponent in the midst of the Democratic nomination process, it strains credulity Credulity. Am I pronouncing it right?
Credulity, yeah.
Credulity.
I get it, yeah.
Credulity. To suggest that is anything other than politically motivated. By all appearances, the president's brazen and unprecedented appeal to China and the Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden is wrong and appalling. Now, Romney's remarks come after Trump told reporters Thursday that Ukraine and China should investigate the Biden family for possible corruption. Trump is now saying this all publicly because when he says it publicly, it doesn't sound as sinister. I said that yesterday.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, he knows how to manipulate public opinion. If he's saying this all behind closed doors and there's secret tapes of this, then it looks like he's doing something wrong.
Right.
It's like when he told the Russians, hey, who's ever out there, if you have the 30,000
Exactly.
emails, go release it. We already know, in my opinion, that he was talking to them well before, although there's no evidence of it. Now, I will say this in my opinion also.
Yeah.
Because I have lots of opinions.
Right.
Yes.
I believe two things. One, Mitt Romney doesn't really care because he doesn't need Trump because he just got elected to the Senate.
Exactly.
So Trump will be out of office even if he wins the election in 2020 before Romney runs again.
Right.
But I have a second opinion on this Romney.
Okay.
I believe he thinks Trump is going to get impeached. And the Republicans are going to need a new presidential candidate for 2020. And who would they elect? Pence? The crazy Pence from Indiana, or would they elect a more moderate Romney who may be able to get elected as a more moderate Republican? That's what I think. If I'm Mitt Romney, that's what I'm thinking.
I gotta be real, it's a cold day in hell when I'm kind of wishing for a President Romney right now, but if it's between President Pence and President Romney, I'll take it all day long.
I'll take President Romney over President Pence and President Trump all day long.
Every single day.
And I will take any president running on the Democratic side over President Romney. As a matter of fact, I would take President Yo-Yo over anybody. I elect President Yo-Yo.
No. We're drawing the line too far there.
All right. No, we're drawing the line, President Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Pence is in some hot water too.
Oh, this I want.
Yeah, because 3 House committees have asked Vice President Mike Pence to produce documents related to President Donald Trump's dealings with Ukraine as part of the impeachment inquiry. They wrote in a letter, recent public reports have raised questions about any role you may have played in conveying or reinforcing the president's stark message to the Ukrainian president. The reports include specific references to a member of your staff who may have participated directly in the July 25th, 2019 call, documents you may have obtained or reviewed, including the record of the call, and your September 1st, 2019 meeting with the Ukrainian president in Warsaw, during which you repeatedly discussed the administration's hold on U.S. security assistance to Ukraine.
Wow.
So as a matter of fact, I guess Pence was in that meeting. Trump was supposed to be there and he didn't come.
Right.
That's what happened. Now, what I find most interesting about this is Donald Trump, rails against the free press in the United States of America. Okay? But the first sentence in this document request from Pence, which he may disregard and will eventually turn into a subpoena,
right,
is that the public reports from newspapers. Newspapers the news in America plays a huge role in all of this. A free press plays a huge role.
Absolutely.
And without the free press and without the news being able to report what they're able to report, none of this would happen and our country would be corrupt beyond repair.
Absolutely.
Now, a lot of times you have to be smart when you watch the news. You even got to be smart when you watch Brad Show Live. You got to figure out what's real, what's not real, not that I'm saying anything wrong, but you all have to make your own independent judgments. But that's okay, because some news articles and some shows, they all bend the news to fit their particular opinions. But there's a very big role for the free press in the United States of America, and you just saw it right there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You just saw it right there. Meanwhile, we had a gentleman on our show. We talked about it last week. It's a beautiful story. Miguel Perez Jr.
Yeah.
He was an Army veteran, served 2 tours in Afghanistan. He was deported. After he came back, he was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. He served 7.5 years in prison for possession of cocaine.
Yeah.
after suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. He's got his life back together in prison. He finally got treated. This story is a indictment not only on the U.S. military for not taking care of their veterans when they return and giving them proper care, because anybody who is in a war to come back and have you think about it, your bombs are flying everywhere. Think about post-traumatic stress disorder. You come back, your adrenaline is going, your excitement is going, and you come back to a nice, quiet life. You need that pick-me-up again. You need to get transitioned to cope from war to a peaceful life in America. You just can't give it up.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately for him, the U.S. military didn't do anything. He turned to cocaine. So he needed that pick-me-up, that excitement.
Absolutely.
Ended up 7.5 years in prison. He didn't know he wasn't a citizen. Lived here as a kid. Got deported to Mexico, lost his wife, kids, everybody.
Oh my gosh.
He finally got his case, his criminal case overturned in August by Governor J.B. Pritzker in Illinois. Vacated his conviction and allowed him to apply for U.S. citizenship. He was just invited back and he became a U.S. citizen.
Aww.
He was on our show, so congratulations.
That's amazing.
So, and that was just today. So congratulations to
Wow.
Miguel Perez Jr. We featured him on our show
Right.
as a deported hero.
Yeah.
A deported hero. A deported
That's
hero.
amazing.
I'll tell you another company I like. I'm a big Apple fan, Belgium Kim.
You are.
And now I'm a bigger fan than ever.
Ooh.
It just came out that there is a Supreme Court filing. Now the Supreme Court is asking for briefs from, quote, friends of the court regarding the DACA case that they're going to decide next June.
Right.
In about 8 months, we're going to have the fate of 7, 8, 900,000 dreamers, whether they're going to get to stay in America or not. And the Supreme Court allows friends of the court to put in papers. Friend of the court means I'm not part of this case, but I have a stake in the outcome.
Right.
So I'd like to be heard. So Apple submitted a friend of the court brief.
Okay.
And in it, they said that they employ 443 dreamers
Wow.
in 36 states coming from 25 countries. The number is up from 250 in 2017. And what they said in their court filing, we did not hire them out of kindness. We did not hire them out of charity. We did it because dreamers embody Apple's innovation strategy. They come from diverse backgrounds and display a wide range of skills and experiences that equip them to tackle problems from different perspectives. Basically, what they said is they hired the best goddamn person for the job.
Right.
And believe it or not, 443 of them were dreamers, and they shouldn't leave the country. They're really helping us.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So the company said as a group, they tend to display levels of determination and resolve that would be the pride of any business, and we can tell you 443 stories to illustrate these attributes, which was very, very
I
nice.
love
That's
this.
awesome.
Now, it's also Cancer Awareness Month in October, and it just came out that Beyonce's father, Matthew Knowles, revealed that he had breast cancer.
Yeah.
He's the father of singer Beyonce and Solange. The 67-year-old music executive appeared on Good Morning America to talk about his health battle and told host Michael Strahan that he was diagnosed about 2 months ago after he and his wife noticed small dots of blood on his shirt and his bed sheet.
Wow.
Now, Knowles said he underwent surgery at the end of July and is doing really good. He said he wanted to share his story to urge other men to get tested for the disease. You don't hear about breast cancer in men.
In men
No.
that
Don't-
often.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Now, according to the American Cancer Society, there will be about 2,670 new cases of invasive breast cancer in men in the United States this year, and about 500 men are going to die from the
Wow.
disease.
Wow.
Now, I will also say that statistically, black men tend to have a worse prognosis. Knowles said that's because of the BRCA2 gene mutation. BRCA2 gene mutation, and you're also at risk of getting melanoma as well as prostate and pancreatic cancer because of that mutation as well.
I read that Beyonce and Solange went to go get tested
Yes.
to see
Yeah.
if they had the
Breast-
mutation
right,
gene, and
And they
they
did.
found out they didn't.
Oh,
So
thank
that's
God for
good.
that.
Yeah.
Right. So he said that his outlook on life has changed. He stopped drinking,
Yeah.
and he just wants to have a clean bill of health. And things that used to be important, he said, are not important to me now. I just look at the world very differently.
Wow.
Yes.
And in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which will go through October 31st, the White House and the Eiffel Tower were both illuminated in the signature breast cancer awareness pink.
That's
Yeah.
really
Very
cute.
nice.
I love that.
Finally,
awesome.
Donald Trump does something nice.
One right thing, my God.
Right, one thing out of a million.
Right.
I am certain that he
And-
railed against it. It was like,
yes.
is there any way we can't make it pink?
And I'm going to tell you something. Julie just said in my ear. He probably had nothing to do with it.
100%.
That's very true as well.
100%.
And
That's
sadly,
so true.
it came out today. Diane Carroll, legendary Oscar-nominated actress, has died at 84. I remember her from Dynasty.
Yes,
in the
Devereaux,
1980s.
Miss Devereaux.
Yes, she was 84 years old.
It's burned.
She died at home. She was the first African American woman to star in her own TV series, and is obviously best remembered for Dominique Devereaux on the Dynasty in the mid-1980s. Her first major television assignment was starring as the middle-class single mother, Julia, in a 1968 sitcom that was praised for featuring an African American in the title role. The series, which ran for 3 years, was a trailblazer and leading to greater visibility for African American characters. She also won a Tony as the star of Richard Rodgers' musical No Strings, a role that had been a role. I don't know why Siri had to come on. So a role that had been written especially for her about an interracial romance between a writer and a fashion model.
Oh, I
She
love that.
was an icon.
Most recently, Carol appeared on series including A Different World. One of my favorite.
She was Jasmine Guy's Whitley's mom on A Different World.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lonesome Doves, the series. What was her character?
I didn't watch that.
Okay. Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, she
picked up an Emmy
on
there.
it. Yeah.
Diary of a Single Mom. And on USA's White Collar as June Ellington. Now, filmmakers and artists on Twitter were quick to express their sadness and condolences. Director Ava DuVernay wrote, Diane Carroll walked this earth for 84 years and broke ground with every footstep and icon, one of the all-time greats she blazed. And Debbie Allen, famous choreographer and actress, wrote, Diane Carroll, you taught us so much. We are strong, more beautiful, and risk takers because of you. We will forever sing your praises and speak your name. Love, 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 Debbie. Yes.
She was also the first black person to play on a role on TV that was not a servant as well.
Really?
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What was her what was the sitcom in the 60s? I don't remember what. I was a baby.
She
so I don't
had
know.
one,
What was it
I
called?
think, from like 68 to
What
like
was it called?
71.
It's called Julia.
Julia.
Yeah.
But they never ran it in did they run it in syndication? Because I don't remember seeing it as a kid.
Let's see. I don't think so.
I don't
It
remember.
doesn't look like
they never
it.
ran it in syndication, which is weird. I remember Good Times.
Yeah.
I remember
Let's
Good
see
Times,
here.
but I don't remember. I'm just trying to think. I remember The Jeffersons as a kid. I'm trying to remember black sitcoms.
It was on NBC.
I remember
it was on
Sanford and
NBC.
Son.
It was on NBC.
But that, I'm giving you sitcoms I remember from the mid '70s. But I wasn't around in the late '60s.
68 to 71
Yeah,
is
I
when
was a
it
baby.
played.
I wouldn't remember.
And it's actually it was about a widow who raised her young son alone while working as a nurse. Wow.
All right, so we got to answer some immigration questions here.
All right.
Belgium Kim, Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias, why don't you tell everybody one last time what I'm going to be doing in the next 45 seconds and what they should be doing between now and 45 seconds from now.
Yeah.
That's right, family.
Little delay there.
That was not my. We're switching it up. We haven't even talked about it. So make sure on Facebook that you guys have joined the Brad Show Live Brad Squad. That's the place where you're going to get your immigration questions guaranteed answers. The first 5 people who ask their immigration questions in that group every single day are the first 5 questions we will ask during our social media check-in. Also, make sure that you've liked our page, hit that little bell, because that's the only way you're going to get a notification every time we go live. Make sure you're leaving us all those comments so that Yo-Yo and I can keep interacting with you as Brad answers all of these amazing questions. And of course, what's the most important thing you can do for us? You know what it is, fam. You gotta share the show. Make sure that you're either starting a watch party and be the king of your castle with all of your friends running a watch party. That's a weird crown. Also make sure that you're sharing it as a DM, share it as a private message, or in the groups that you're a member of, except the Brad Show Live Brad Squad group, because obviously all those people know the show's going on. On YouTube, what do we do, Yo-Yo?
On YouTube, the first thing you're gonna do is subscribe. You guys, everybody that you get on this show, every person that you send this link to, I need you guys to let them know to subscribe, because they have to be a part of the Brad Squad, and also click that little bell so they can get a notification anytime we come on. All right, make sure you guys put all your comments and questions in. It's getting kind of late, so make sure you put it in just in case we can get to every single one of them today. But if not, make sure that you guys, like we said, join the Brad Squad page, because you get the first 5 questions that we receive. You will get the first 5 questions asked. All right, so you guys make sure you do that. And also, the way to share, copy the link, press that little arrow. It's just like Facebook, but you can send it to your social media platforms. But most importantly, I want you guys to send it in a text message blast. All right, create a group, tell them to subscribe, like I said again. All right, and last but not least, please give us a thumbs up. We have a lot of people watching with low thumbs likes. Yeah. That's how you guys lost yesterday, okay? So show us that you guys
have
can
low
do this.
thumbs?
Low thumb likes.
Low thumb likes.
Yeah, we only have 56 and we have 172 people watching. All right, so
get out of here with the low thumbs.
Press the low thumbs.
You can do 2 things with the thumb.
It's going up.
You can do 2 things with the thumb tonight. You can say, hey, get out of here.
Yeah.
Or you can go, oh, let me press this thumb right here. And thumbs up. You can do one of the 2 things.
Those are the only 2 things
I don't know anything else you can do with the thumb.
It's not hump day. It's not hump day.
Yeah, non-hump day. Non-hump day uses for the thumb.
Yes, but what time it is? It's time for you guys to call in and get your answers with getting answers to your immigration questions.
All right, Frankie has been in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This should be a FedEx commercial. Pittsburgh's perfect. In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 1 hour waiting for this call. Hopefully he's there. Frankie.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm good.
Oh, wait,
How are you?
my wires are falling around here. Let me get this straightened out. Okay, we're good now. What's going on?
Nothing. Yesterday, I asked you a question, but you gave me the answer. It was about USCIS reopening my I-130.
Okay.
So
I don't remember. What was your question again? Tell me again.
Yeah, what I forgot to ask you yesterday is the USCIS is reopening, asking the appeal. I filed for the appeal for I-130. They said they reopened the I-130. But I was about to send a new application with my new lawyer. So I want to know if I had to let him know that USCIS is reopening my new case.
Yes.
My old case.
Yes. The reason is you can't have 2 adjustments pending. So you have an adjustment pending right now. Your case got denied, and you did 2 things. One, you made a motion to reopen. The motion to reopen goes back to the same officer who denied you. And let me explain what happened so you understand everything, okay?
Okay.
So you filed an adjustment, it got denied. For whatever reason it got denied, I don't know anything about your case, but let me just tell you procedurally what's going on, all right?
Okay.
So your adjustment gets denied, and you did 2 things. 1, you made a motion to reopen. 2, you made an appeal. What are those? Where do they go? A motion to reopen goes back to the officer who denied your case. The same person, man or woman who denied your case, that's where it goes back to. And what you're saying in a motion to reopen is that I have additional evidence to present to you that I didn't have before, that I now have, that I want you to consider. And if you consider it, I think my case should be approved. And that is what you do in a motion to reopen. If you appeal, you go to a higher authority. I guess you're appealing not the adjustment, you're appealing the I-130. Because you can't appeal the adjustment. And you go and you appeal the I-130, and you're appealing to a higher authority, the Board of Immigration Appeals. And what you're saying is, this officer, based on all the facts that I presented, this officer came to the wrong conclusion and denied my case. And I think if you look at the facts that I presented to this officer, you would approve the case. And that's an appeal. So you did both. Okay. And apparently, when you submitted additional evidence to the immigration officer, that persuaded the immigration officer to reopen your case. You now have a pending adjustment. I'm sure they'll call you for another interview and ask you whatever questions are pertinent to your particular issues that got you denied in the first place. So you can't now go file a second adjustment. You have one open.
Okay. So right? I should tell my lawyer to hold on.
Absolutely. And your lawyer should know everything that I just told you. You should know exactly what to do.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Tom in Bloomingdale, Illinois. Tom.
You are the best, man.
Oh, thank you.
Unbelievable.
Let me tell you something. Compliments get you very far. I'm going to give you a best answer I got now.
Oh my God, thank you,
right,
because I have good one for you, and I already know the answer, I think, but so confusing. Immigration thing, it's so confusing, and the one who can answer it's only you, nobody else.
I hope so.
Okay, so one lawyer told me this, another lawyer this. So, what's the problem? There is problem and no problem. That's what I get confused.
Okay.
So,
where are you from, Tom? Where are you originally from? I know you're from Illinois, but where are you originally from?
Poland.
Poland, okay. By the way, good news for Poland. Donald Trump is recommending that they become part of the ESTA program.
I hear that.
Okay, but that doesn't help you. Okay, continue.
Yeah. So, removing condition, it's based on bona fide marriage with my wife. I'm done there. And the lawyer said, so what's your problem, Dominic? You want to become citizen or you don't want to? What do you want to do? Why are you here?
Right.
So when I went to the second lawyer, so the second lawyer told me, did you remove condition with your wife? You signed, and what happened? Did they call you for interview? I said, no, to the lawyer. And said, okay, so you got your 10 years green card. Yeah. So what's your problem? My problem is that when she divorced me, I didn't know, the separation said that I swear an oath that the separation showed that you are not with her 2 months before you're removing condition. But I was with her. I have all evidence.
Right. Well, there's a problem. Because okay, so you had a 10-year green card, and it says you were separated or the marriage irrevocably broke down. Those are two different things. Because in New York, the way a divorce is worded is that the marriage irrevocably broke down. That doesn't mean you weren't living in the same home. It just means you guys were not getting along anymore. Versus being separated in two different homes. Now, if I understand the question correctly. Okay, and let me make sure I understand this correctly. Is that you had your 2-year card? You went to remove the conditions of your permanent residence. You filed a joint application with your wife. You got the green card, 10-year green card, and then after that, a divorce was started either by you or your wife. And as part of the divorce papers, you said that you were separated at least 2 months prior to you submitting your I-751 or 2 months before they made a decision on your case?
Okay, you know what? 2 months. The divorce, not the divorce degree, because divorce degree show 3 months after you receive a green card, but the separation show. Okay, you have your green card in May. You said, but 2 months before you said you separate. So how come you got the green card? I didn't know.
Right. So let me ask you a question. All right. So you got approved for the 10-year green card. You had a 2-year green card, and you got approved for the 10-year green card in May of whatever year. And in April of that same year, your divorce says you guys got separated. I will assume that your I-751 was filed before April, correct? Before that date where you claim you were separated, right?
Right, yes.
Okay, so as long as it was filed before then, and they approved it without an interview, you never lied. The only reason that you could have a problem is for lying or misrepresentation, okay? Yes. So let's say, hypothetically, you filed your I-751 in January, you got separated in April, and in June, you get your green card. There are plenty of people who have removed their conditions. They were separated, but as long as they were able to prove it was a bona fide marriage, you were entitled to remove the conditions of your permanent residence.
Hold on.
And you have proof of it. So I don't think you did anything wrong there.
No, I think it's a mistake. I think the way how I explain with my little English is it's wrong.
So say it one more time.
I think it's this. Okay. March, removing condition, but the separation showed January, you separate.
Okay, so you filed your I-751 in March, but when you filed your I-751 in March, your divorce showed that your divorce papers show you were separated in January. Is that correct?
Separation, yes, correct.
Right.
Yes.
But you were not divorced at that time, or you had begun a divorce at that point.
No, I was with her, but I swear an oath that we're not together.
I still think you're going to be okay, because the law says you can be separated from your spouse, and if your spouse goes on the interview with you, you can go into the interview and prove it's still a bona fide marriage. So I think you're okay. I think maybe there's a misrepresentation because you showed you and your spouse living in the same home on the forms. Now, I don't know what was put on the forms. I think at this point, Tom, what you should do is take this offline, have a private one-on-one consultation with me. I don't know if you did a FOIA. If not, I'll do a FOIA for you. Let me look at your divorce, and then let me give you a full assessment and a privileged conversation. I think that'd probably be better for you at this point.
But you think I can travel with no problem?
Yes, because no one's looking at your divorce right now. They're
But
only going to look at your divorce when you do your citizenship, and you want to make sure you're able to become a citizen. So hold on one second.
And even if whatever happened, who get deported in the airport? Nobody. If you have because they're gonna the judge can take away.
Correct. Number one. Number two, no one's looking at your divorce in an airport.
All right.
All right. So hold on one second.
I call you.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Mac in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Mac.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah. My name is Mark, and I'm a green card holder.
Yes.
Yeah. I have a pending case for the fourth DWI, which happened last year in 10 years.
You have a pending case for driving while intoxicated?
Yeah, and that will be the fourth one in 10 years.
4 in 10 years?
Yeah.
Oh, Mac, man, you got a problem, and it's not just for immigration. If you just have a green card, you got a problem with drinking and driving.
Yeah, now, yeah.
Have you gone to, I mean, you're going to kill yourself or you're going to kill somebody else at some point. So you got to figure out how to fix that. And then we can deal with immigration.
Yeah, I realized I have a problem with drinking. So I went to treatment, and since then I've been doing very good.
Good.
Now my question is, my green card is expiring next year on May.
Okay, I can tell you that 4 convictions for driving while intoxicated is 100% going to be a deportable offense. In combination of all 4. So what I think you need to do before you go renew your green card is we have to go take a look at your immigration papers and all of your 4 convictions. And what we have to determine is maybe if you go to renew your green card, you'll be put in deportation, but maybe you're eligible for citizenship. And they can't put you in deportation while you have a pending citizenship. So let's hope you're eligible for citizenship. I would not be renewing your green card, and I would have a consultation. All right? So hold on one second, all right?
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Nicole in Brooklyn. Nicole.
Hi.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi. Okay, Lisa. All right, so I'm calling to find out. Okay, so my daughter got... hello?
I'm listening.
Okay, so my daughter got her citizenship through her dad, right?
Right.
And that was like 10 years ago. She's 18 now. She's going to be 19 in 2 weeks' time. However, he didn't do the certificate of citizenship. Is it now too late for her to do it on her own?
No, she should do it. No, let her do it on her own. She's always there are people who are 40 years old who should have done it when they were 8 who do it. Okay, because she's a citizen by operation of law, so she's still a citizen. She should just do the N600.
Okay, another question.
Yes.
All right, so I have a friend that he got a charge in Jamaica in 2015.
Right.
Now he is in the States. He has overstayed. He's also married. And he wants to put in his filing. Would that charge in Jamaica affect his filing here?
Yes. Charges all over the world affect his filing. He should have a consultation with me. All right, hold on one second. Let's go to Prosper in Inglewood, California. Prosper. That's your birthplace.
I was born in Inglewood.
All right, Prosper from the birthplace of Dr. Yo-Yo.
Daniel Freeman Hospital.
No, I'm from Nigeria. Actually.
I was born in Inglewood.
Wow, you really have. Right, you got a lot going on with Prosper.
Right,
here.
Prosper.
All right,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm okay. So I have 2 questions. One is for me.
Yes.
So on February, my I-485 was denied based on my birth certificate. I didn't have one at birth. So when you go to the national population in Nigeria, that's the one they give. So the birth certificate was actually the right one, but they denied me either way. So I filed for an I-290B since April. And on May, my wife was invited for the I-130 interview. We got approved. But since then, I haven't had anything about the I-290. The last time I checked online, they transferred it back to the office.
All right. If you did an I-290, you're on appeal. It's going to take for years and years and years. You're better off, as long as you have the right birth certificate now, if you think they made the wrong decision, just refile it again, get a different officer, and prove to them you got the right birth certificate. It'll be a lot faster. Withdraw the appeal and refile again. That's what I would do.
Okay, so do I need to terminate the I-290, or do I just
absolutely.
go ahead?
No, you got to terminate the appeal first before you file a second case.
Okay.
All right, that's what I would do.
So,
all right.
So I have a question for my friend. So he's married, and he has gone for the interview. I think that was in July. But the wife has been treating him so badly. You know, he slaps him. She goes out and doesn't come back for like months, weeks. You know, the guy couldn't say anything because of the filing he's going through. But right now he's asking me if there's anything he could do. So I said I'm going to call you guys and find out.
Well, I can't help him with his marital problems. But when you have marital problems, you come back to the same three options: figure it out with your spouse, leave your spouse, get divorced, and find spouse number 2 or 3, and hopefully that's a happier marriage, or do an abuse case. Those are always your 3 options, and he can talk to me and have a consultation with me, and we can talk about whichever one's
okay. Yeah. Actually, he's gonna. I told him to use you guys. Yes. So, yeah. Okay.
All
Thanks very
You're
much.
Very welcome. Okay. And by the way, just FYI, I just showed Kim. I don't want to say I know because I didn't know. It was my opinion yesterday. Mm-hmm. But the New York Times is just reporting now that Bernie Sanders infected have a heart attack.
Yikes.
Because I said it didn't make sense because you wouldn't be in the hospital all that time.
Right.
Right. And they kept saying angina. I'm like, But I didn't know for a fact.
Right. They probably was trying to
so
down
then
it.
So I did correct myself and said, well, I don't know factually. I was giving my opinion. I said, it sounds like he had a heart attack to me. And now it has come out.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a little bit of a omniscient. Maybe the magic 8 ball.
You don't need the magic 8 ball.
I don't. Shantae in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Shantae.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi.
How you doing?
Oh my God, I can't remember. I'm fine, thank you. You guys are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you very much.
So I got something to say to you and I have a question. So I did my interview the other day. On the same day I found out I was pregnant. Would it be a problem now if I get Medicaid in the future when I'm going for my citizenship?
No, because you already had your adjustment filed before the 15th of October. You're fine.
Okay, good. So that joke to it. Every day I was watching your show.
And by the way, even after October 15th, there is a carve-out for people, for pregnant women and children who are U.S. citizens and children in the womb who will eventually be born. All of 3 groups are eligible for government assistance without having a problem with immigration.
Okay, great.
All right.
So I didn't find out I was pregnant. I was watching your show every day. I feel sick. I watch your show every day and feel better.
Oh my God! And then you went to the Dwayne Reed and peed on a stick, and now you found out you're pregnant while you're watching Brad Show live. I can't believe this.
I was like, how the hell did I not know I was pregnant? I told my husband every day I was feeling sick. He said, "What you watch?" I said, "Brad Show." He's like, "That's what you watch to feel better." I said, "Yes." That day you guys came on late.
Wow, that's a new.
You guys came on late.
Congratulations!
And I decided. Thank you. I went to decide. Since Brad is so late, I'm going to do something and come back. I was like, oh my God, I got to call Brad.
And you found out, and you had 2 lines on the stick. Congratulations.
You're right. Thank you guys for doing a wonderful job.
All right,
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right.
Thank you.
So you know what? We have a lot of taglines for Brad Show Live.
Right.
Helping one immigrant at a time, the only comedy immigration show, helping real people alive, helping people with the American dream. We can now add helping pregnant women feel Much better.
There you
Absolutely.
go.
All right, whatever we can do. Whatever
All
we
morning
can do.
sickness be gone.
That's right. Getting rid of your morning sickness every day between 5:30 and 7:30 p.m.
Will make you less nauseous. It's a weird tagline for a show.
And Deion Watson is already starting a campaign that the baby should be named Brad, whether boy or girl.
And Lady Gaza TK said, finally, Bradshaw Live got someone pregnant.
It was on Hump Day, right?
Yeah, that's the only one we know of.
Huey in Houston. Huey. U-E. U-E? Huey.
Hello?
Hello. What is your name?
Dominique.
Where did I get Huey from?
I'm not sure. It's okay. How are you?
How are you, Dominique?
I'm great. Thank you for taking my phone call.
Okay, what's going on?
So my husband has been in removal proceedings, and we filed an I-130. It's been pending for over 12 months now. We are attorney represented, and we're wanting to know if we can file a mandamus.
Absolutely.
To fast forward it, because
Absolutely.
our attorney is saying that we can't.
Of course you can.
Because we're inside the processing time,
It
but
doesn't
they
matter.
changed like 3 times.
It doesn't matter the processing times. It means they don't have a right to say, okay, the processing time is 8 years, so they have a right to hold it for 8 years. Come on.
Right, exactly.
That's ridiculous. Hold on one second.
Okay.
All right. The answer is yes. All right. With that being said, we're going to get back to some more immigration calls in about 2 minutes. So everybody online, we're going to continue our telephone calls. I'm going to help as many people as I can. But I wanted to introduce you again to attorneys Jenny Kim and Abadir Barre. They're going to give you some helpful tips for filing for a green card in something we like to call Sparm Bernstein's Attorney Close-Up. Let's watch.
For somebody that's filing for a green card based on marriage, I think it's all about preparation. I see time and time and again where individuals are in a genuine marital relationship, but because of life, because of the amount of time that it might take, maybe just because they're not aware, they don't necessarily gather the necessary documents or the documents that are required for the purposes of proving to an immigration officer at their interview that they are in a genuine marriage. For example, it's really important to go ahead and file your tax returns together as either married filing jointly or married filing separately. And a lot of the explanations that we get from clients for not filing taxes together is because the individual applying for the green card does not have a social security number. But there is a method in which you can apply for a tax ID number, which allows you to go ahead and apply or file taxes together. You know, it's all about documentation and just to be prepared.
What I would advise people who are planning to apply for green card, as everybody knows, under the Trump administration, the administration is very strict. So before, people would be able to get their green cards and officers were a little bit more lenient. So now I advise you, first consult an attorney if you can, because you may not know that you have issues in your case at the interview or sometimes even after the interview when you get a decision, particularly a denial decision if it's adverse against you. So I'd say consult an attorney. If you can't and you get, some people do their forms through community centers or a friend or family or somebody, really take the time to closely look at the forms to make sure that everything is accurate, because with this administration, they're liable to deny you for small mistakes or issues that in past administrations wouldn't.
The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. All right, let's go to Vanessa in Bangor, Maine. Vanessa.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
All right. So I have my 2-year green card. My husband filed for my son who is in Jamaica. But we're having some issues. I uploaded all the information, but he hasn't been working for the past couple of months.
Your husband. That's fine. So you'll
Yeah.
get an affidavit of support from somebody else.
I did get one, but they've been they asked for pay stubs, which we don't have.
From the second person. Well, what about, does he get canceled checks? How does the person get paid?
Well, not the person, but my husband.
Okay, well, they don't need to ask for pay stubs. Just say he doesn't have any. He's unemployed at the moment.
Okay. Do I need to?
But you just
I
need
don't
a
know,
good
write a
second.
letter?
You just need a good second affidavit of support from somebody else, and you just have your husband write a letter, 2 sentences. I'm currently unemployed. I'm looking for employment. My last job was XYZ. I earned this amount of money, and I expect in the next few weeks to be working in XYZ and earning XYZ. In the meantime, I've attached a second affidavit of support, which is more than sufficient. Something to that effect. I just kind of, did it off the top of my head. All right?
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good luck. All right, let's go to Pearl in Brooklyn, New York. Pearl.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Pearl. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
What's going on?
I filed my I-751 since last year, March.
Right.
And I have a month left on it. So what do? I need to go to Jamaica.
Go make an appointment to go down to the local office and get a stamp in your passport.
How do I make the appointment? Because I go online to see if they still make the appointment. They said this office no longer make an appointment.
All right, so then get your plane ticket and see if you can get online and go to an immigration office, one of the security guards, and say, I have this plane ticket, I got to go. Here's my green card, I need a stamp in my passport, and see if they let you in the building. And then if they don't, then you got to come to me and we'll see if we can get you in the building. Or you can just come to me and I'll try to get you in, one or the other, okay? But I wouldn't just show up and say I need a pass. You got to show up with your plane ticket and everything and say like, oh my God, it's like an emergency. You got to let me in. I need to go and blah, blah, blah. You got to be able to speak
It's for me and my son, though.
Yeah, so for both of you.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
All right.
Thank you
Good
so
luck.
much.
All right. Let's go to Sam in Trenton, New Jersey. Sam.
Finally. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, Sam. You got me. What's going on?
Hi, Brad. Hi, guys. How y'all doing?
Oh, good. What's going on?
Good. Quick. I got 2 questions for you, Brad.
Yes.
One is about me. The second is about a friend of mine. All right. I got married January this year, right?
Yes.
But I have not filed my adjustment of status. I'm going to do that on Monday. Okay? But I got stopped by the cops yesterday night, right? I was driving on my way home, right, from a friend's place. And he asked for my license and registration. I gave him my license and registration. Mind you, I still drive with an IDL, which is international driver's license, right?
Wait. You're driving with a what? We're getting to the good part. And
IDL, international driver's license.
Okay, so you're driving with international driver's license, so they gave you a ticket for driving without a license at all, correct?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
okay,
So
okay.
I have to go to the court.
Go
on the
file your adjustment. Hire a good motor vehicle traffic lawyer, and and you'll have to pay a fine, but it shouldn't affect you.
Oh, I'm not going to go to jail for it or something like that.
No. But before you plead guilty to anything, make sure you pass it by me. Just hire a good lawyer. It should be okay.
Great,
Right.
good. So my second question.
Yeah.
Good, thank you. Second question. I have a friend of mine who came over from Nigeria, right?
Yes.
To have a child. But she came with a B1, B2 visa, right? Okay, had a child, went back home, right? I mean, probably stayed like three months, right? Went back home, visa expired. Now she went to renew her visa.
They turned it down.
She got rejected.
Of course,
yeah,
because she gave birth in America. She shouldn't have.
Okay, so
she has a
now
big
she wants
problem
to
now.
apply for. Yeah, now she wants to apply for school. Can she apply for school?
She can, but she's going to be turned down again.
So she's got a ban for how long?
Pay for the rest of her life, unless she were to marry an American citizen.
So she's done for life.
Done for life. That's what happens when you give.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's what happens when you give birth in America on a visitor's visa. The government says it's a misrepresentation. You said you were coming to visit when you obviously knew you were 6, 7, 8 months pregnant, and you came to give birth in America, and that's not allowed on a visitor's visa. And the last thing the U.S. government wants is people from another country coming here to give birth to make American citizens. They don't want that.
Yeah, Brad, but the thing is, when she got her visa, she wrote a letter to the embassy changing her intent, a letter of change of intent before she came. She did, and she got an approval from the embassy.
What do you mean a letter of intent? She got a letter of intent to say she's allowed to go give birth in America?
She wrote a letter of intent to the embassy in Nigeria stating she's going to change her purpose for travel, and then she got a reply back saying.
What did she say? What did she say was the purpose of her travel?
You mean the first time or the second time, or you mean
the time she gave birth? I could almost guarantee you she didn't write a letter to the embassy saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to give birth to America. Thank you very much for the visa."
She did.
All right, then.
She did.
And did they say, "Okay, here's your visa," or she just wrote a letter and just said, "Oh, here's a letter. I'm writing this letter. I'm off tomorrow."
No, she wrote a letter like
One second. You can't, I'll tell you what you can't do, okay? You can't say, all right, I have a visa in my passport. I'm going to now screw the government. I'm going to just send them a letter in the mail and telling them, you know what, I think I'm going to go give birth. Now I'm going to get on the plane in 3 days, and I'm going to go give birth. They don't, that letter doesn't reach anything.
Brad, I understand what you're saying, but she wrote a letter of change of intent, and she got a reply from them that she can use her visa, and as long as she pays all her bill completely.
Then she should show that to me, because I find that hard to believe, but she should show it to me, and if that's the case, I'll be happy to go to bat for her.
Okay.
All right, hold on 1 second, all right? Let's go to Simone in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Simone.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
How are you?
Yes. My friend called earlier, a couple of months ago, and told you that she went on an interview and her green card application was withdrawn by her husband. Now they sent her a letter for immigration court for removal proceedings. What should she do?
Fight it. Okay. So, question is, how do you fight a deportation? First question is what happened with her and her husband?
Well, he actually came to the interview, but only to find out after the interview he has another wife. So he's both married to
he's a bigamist.
She now and another woman.
He's a bigamist. He is a bigamist. Hello?
Okay.
Right? Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So was there abuse in the relationship? Emotional abuse, physical abuse? That's where I would start to ask questions. If not, since she was in a void marriage, she's free to fall in love and get married again. If she has children, she can apply for cancellation or removal if she's been here for more than 10 years, or parents. If she's scared to go home, she can apply for asylum. I don't know enough of her story. I think I would need to have a consultation with her.
Okay.
All right, hold on 1 second. Let's go to Samina in Herndon, Virginia. Samina.
Yes, sir. I have a question. I want to know that for F2A category, the visa is current. How long it will remain current?
I don't know. I can tell you my guess is at least for the next few months, because they're not approving many of these cases.
Oh, okay.
But you don't know for sure.
Okay, and my second question is my mom, she has the green card. She sponsored my brother. So we received RFE, but in the RFE there was a middle name spelling mistake. So I'm not sure from where this mistake came. Maybe this is our mistake in the filing the I-30 form. If this is incorrect spelling in the form, so what should we do? Do we have to fill out again, or it will delay the process, or what?
Have they said anything to you about this misspelling?
No, we received the RFE. In the RFE, the middle name spelling was incorrect. So we responded.
So when you respond to the RFE, just mention, by the way, the middle name's incorrect. Here's the correct name, and here's the right birth certificate.
Yeah, we did that.
That's fine.
But
so you did it right.
Yeah, okay. But I'm not sure it was incorrect in the application or not.
Doesn't
but
matter.
I want
Doesn't
to know.
matter, but you can correct it in RFE, just a misspelling.
Okay, yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah. So my brother is in 2A category, so we just submitted the RFE, so that's why I was asking
All right,
how long the 2A.
Yeah, well, you got to wait at least 120 days for them to respond, so hopefully it's still current when they respond. If it's more than 120 days, then you can contact me. There's nothing I can do for at least 120 days.
Okay, 3 months I have to wait.
That's 4 months.
Thank you.
Okay,
bye-bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, 120 days is 4 months.
4.
Just want to make sure that people get that right.
They say from every angle.
Yes. Boy, the silence is a little not used to it here on Brad Show Live.
What do you mean?
There was like 2 seconds of silence. It made me very angry. All right, Kimberly in Silver Spring, Maryland. Kimberly.
Hello, Brad.
How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you guys?
Good. What's going on?
I have 2 questions. I have a short question and a long question. My first question is, I filed a work permit. My husband and I got married in 2017.
Right.
I filed my I-130 then. I didn't file the I-485 until this year, May, with my work permit. But I haven't received... I received my notice, but I haven't received my work permit yet. Is it in processing time, or it's over processing
It should be
time?
6 months. If it's more than 6 months, then you should give us a call and let's have a consultation, see what's wrong.
Okay, my second question is, my sister...
This is the long one?
Yes, this is the long one.
Oof.
So It's not that bad.
Okay. You know I have attention deficit disorder, so try to make it short, okay?
Okay, my sister got arrested by ICE. She was working on a B1, B2 visa. She was not charged. They haven't sent any court order, anything at all on it.
Where is she now?
She's here now in the United States.
They let her out? ICE released her?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so how long has she been here?
She's been here now for 3 years.
All right, so eventually I'm sure they're going to follow it up with a deportation, I would assume.
But when we checked, when she got married, her lawyer checked the A number.
And?
The A number, it wasn't nothing there. It was saying nothing for this
So
number.
then she should just file an adjustment then, quickly.
Just do it quickly.
Quickly, yes.
Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day,
You
guys.
too. All right, let's go to Seville in San Diego, California. Seville. Seville.
Oh, yes, sir.
How are you?
Hey, Brad Squad. I have one question.
Yes.
So I came over on a B1, B2 visitor's visa, but like I had my girlfriend, which I got married to.
Right.
However, we filed the I-485 and I-130 and the work permit concurrently.
Mm-hmm.
I got my work permit after I went to my I-485 interview. But my question is, so after the interview, the interviewer said, you will be approved after they do the second fingerprint background check.
Where you from?
I'm from Jamaica.
Okay.
So after
When did you fingerprint?
I did my biometrics in like January. I filed
All right,
in
so it's been
November of
when
2018.
did you do your second fingerprint? They sent you for a second fingerprint?
At the interview.
When
she
was the
took
interview?
My fingerprint.
When was the interview?
In June.
Okay, so you got to wait
June.
120 days from June. If you haven't heard anything, then call me. You can file a mandamus, or you can keep waiting.
Okay. But for one particular question, so basically they said the fingerprint review is complete, and she said all I had to do was wait on the second.
All right, so maybe you didn't
fingerprint to
understand the
clear.
words that came out of my mouth. I'll tell you again. You wait 120 days. They got to approve you within 120 days. I don't care what she said. Your fingerprints are cleared. They didn't clear.
Even if the I-130 isn't approved as yet?
They have to make a decision on your case within 120 days of completing it. Completing it is getting all the documents they need from you, you giving it on a timely basis, and them fingerprinting you and interviewing you. That all happened by June. You now wait 120 days. If they give you a decision within those 120 days, wonderful. If they don't, after 120 days, you can keep waiting forever, or you can file a mandamus. Those are your choices.
Thank you, sir.
All right? All right. Maybe I was too quick with him.
Were you?
I
Do you
don't
need
know.
to follow? Do you need to finish it up?
No, I was fine. It was just, he was, come on, get it out already, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
But there was setup.
Yeah, come on, it was a lot of setup.
A lot of setup.
And there wasn't a big punchline there.
Right.
It's basically, I had an interview in June. How long should I be waiting?
I fall victim to this very frequently.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna come to our social media check-in in about 5 minutes. But first, we have our series with Moshe the Bulldozer continuing. So if you are injured in a construction site accident, you are due compensation for your injuries and loss of ability to work, and you're not sure who you sue in this situation. Spar and Bernstein's personal injury attorney and partner Moshe the Bulldozer Baruch breaks it down for us. Let's watch. Every year, 10% of construction workers in the United States of America get injured on the job. According to the Census of Fatal Occupational Injuries in 2017 alone, 5,147 construction workers died on the job. When an accident leaves a construction worker incapacitated, they and their families lose the financial security they once had. A good attorney is needed to make sure that the injured parties are compensated to the highest level, because most of the time they will never be able to work again. And there is one bite of the apple when it comes to fighting for compensation in court. With me to discuss what to do if you or your loved one is involved in a job construction accident is Spar and Bernstein's very own personal injury attorney and partner, Moshe the Bulldozer Baruch. Moshe, how are you?
Good.
All right, so Moshe, let me ask you a question. You get injured in a job, and a lot of people say, well, I don't want to sue my employer. I'm not going to do that. I like the guy. I don't want to sue my employer. What do you have to say about that?
I notice a lot of people, they do that. They say, well, I got injured on the job. I love my employer. He's treating me fairly. I don't want to sue him. Well, the good news is, Brad, you can't sue your employer.
What do you mean you can't sue your employer?
Well, that's the law. You can't sue your employer because the law in New York State says if you get injured on the job, you get certain types of benefits in form of workers' compensation. And so as a change for that, you can't sue your employer legally. There are two exceptions, though, really quickly, Brad.
Okay.
The two exceptions are if your employer intentionally hits you, so if, God forbid, Brad, you intentionally hit me.
Right. Which I almost wanted to once, but I didn't.
All right, that's the first exception. You can then sue your employer. And
Right.
the second exception is if he doesn't have workers' compensation insurance.
Right.
If he doesn't have workers' compensation insurance, then you can sue him because now you don't have where to go to for your medical benefits and your out-of-pocket expenses.
So who are you suing then?
So in a construction accident, there are general contractors, there's the owner of the premises where the accident occurred, there are the subcontractors. And so 240, 241 labor laws permit you to sue all of these people strictly. It's strict liability. So you can sue the owner of the premises. Even
What do you
if
mean by strict liability? What does that mean?
strict liability means it's not delegable, the duties of keeping the workplace safe.
It's automatic liability.
Correct. And you can sue any one of them. You can sue the owner 100%, you can sue the subcontractor 100%, it doesn't matter. But usually you sue everybody all together, and then they apportion the liability.
What happens if you trip over something you're not watching, or you stab yourself by accident? I mean, can you still sue everybody? I mean, at what point can you not start suing everybody?
So usually 241 and 241.6 allow you to sue for several types of incidents. For example, if you fall off a scaffold, you don't have to prove why the scaffold was defective or why you fell. Again, it's strict liability. You fall off a scaffold, the presumption of negligence is imputed on these people, and so you don't have to show why the scaffold fell. You can also sue if you trip and fall over an object on the ground where you're working. You can sue if you slip and fell on water or
If
substance.
something falls on you or you fall.
Correct. So it's gravity
Any
related.
gravity-related accident,
Exactly.
or you tripping over something.
So you're working and something from the top of you falls and you weren't even working with that particular object, you've got a case.
Now, you had a case where somebody was injured as a result of their employer not giving them some equipment that would have prevented them from getting injured.
Correct.
And that person didn't want to sue the employer. And you're like, don't worry, you're not suing them.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened in that case.
When he came in for consultation, he told me that his employer was the one who was giving everybody the equipment, the safety equipment they were using on the job. And the employer forgot to give him his harness to attach to the ceiling where he was working. And when he was working, he fell, and the harness would have prevented his fall, and his employer apologized to him. And then when he came to me, he said, I don't want to sue my employer, although it was his fault. And I said to him, good news. You can't sue your employer. And so unfortunately what we had to do was we had to get the owner of the premises, the general contractors, the subcontractors involved, and the employer was not part of the lawsuit.
And what was the end result of this case?
That one settled for $1.5 million.
He got $1.5 million after the man didn't want to sue at all because he thought he was going to be suing his employer. And he ended up settling for $1.5 million. What was his injury?
He had a back surgery. It was a herniation into his lumbar spine. And the good news is he went back to work within 6 months of the accident.
Wow. So 6 months out of work, a back surgery, didn't want to sue his employer. He was going to walk away from $1.5 million. But Moshe said, wait a second, you're not suing your employer. You're suing everybody else. None of these people you know.
Exactly.
And he ended up with $1.5 million, and his back is better, hopefully, and he's back at work.
And the good news is, a lot of times you don't know who the contractors or subcontractors are. And so you can sleep good at night knowing that you're not suing your employer, you're going to get paid if you have a good lawyer working on the case, and you live a beautiful life in the future.
That's wonderful. Great news. So everybody out there, we say this all the time, 10% of construction workers get injured every year. And there's a good percentage of them who never do anything about it. Well, that has to change. And the first thing you have to do is save our telephone number. It's 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. If anybody gets injured in an accident, you need to have good attorneys right there, ready and willing and able and intelligent and smart and effective. You need a bulldozer like Moshe Baruch. That's what you need. 1-800-529-5465. That's who you need to help you. God forbid you're in an accident. Save our telephone number because people get hurt on construction accidents all the time. Thanks, Moshe.
No problem.
Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. All right, before we get into social media check-in, I want to remind everybody one last time, if you are on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. We want to get at least over 100 thumbs up for today's show. We really appreciate it. We have over 200 people watching on YouTube at this moment and only 75 thumbs up. That's very sad.
Not okay.
And if we were on Facebook, our viewership just went down substantially in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell everybody what they need to do one last time, because we got to get ready for a social media check-in.
Absolutely. The very first thing that you guys need to do is start a watch party. We want a notification to all your friends. I want all your people in your Facebook list to get a notification from you. Whether that's somebody that you friended in 2007 when you first started your Facebook, or whether that's people that you just met yesterday because of the Brad.
You know what I want? I want people to take credit for their watch parties.
Yeah.
If you're doing a watch party right now, put it in the comments. Give us
who's hosting.
Give us who's hosting, and we're going to check it out. Maybe we'll join your watch party as we're doing our show.
That's right. Maybe we'll come in and comment
That's
in
right.
your watch party.
yeah.
Hey. So make sure that you are clicking that share button, starting a watch party, and letting all of your people know exactly what they're watching. On YouTube, you guys can do something too. What's that, Yo-Yo?
On YouTube, I need you guys to subscribe. That's the first way to get the show out there, but also copy the link, share it to a text message blast. All right, if you are sitting next to anybody, even if it's your child, I need you guys to take that phone, go under his or her YouTube profile, and also subscribe and log into the show. All right? Cool.
Cool. And now is the time you've all been waiting for, because it's all the times you guys wait for all of them. It's social media check-in time.
There you go. We're waiting for each of our segments.
We really were.
Yeah.
Our first question comes from Brad Squatter Abby, who said, "I'm a citizen. Could I petition for my retired father here in the U.S. even though he does not work? And would the new rule affect him? And how can he prove that he won't be a public charge if he's retired?"
Well, that's a problem. It's going to affect a lot of parents. You're going to have to be able to show that you make a substantial income that they're never going to be a public charge. It's a problem for filing for retired parents. It's a problem for filing for children as well. We're going to have to work through those problems, and we'll see how they're interpreting the laws after October 15th. But that should not deter you from filing for him. File the I-130, and let's see how it goes.
And before I get to the second one, I do want to say Tracy Lacey on YouTube said 75 thumbs up with over 200 people watching. Hit the thumbs up right now, family. And literally right after she said that, it went all the way up to 105.
That's right. Now,
so thank you.
Thank you. And I wish somebody on Facebook would say, 150 viewers on Facebook, why didn't everybody start a watch party right now, take credit for it, and let's get those viewership up to over 300 like we had for the first half of the show.
Sisha Mitchell just started her watch party,
Right, okay.
and I see her taking ownership in those comments.
All right.
Keep it going. Who
That's
wants to
right.
be as cool as Sisha Mitchell?
Right.
I don't know.
All right, now our second
We're about to
question
find
comes
out.
from Useful, saying, I got married 40 days after I arrived on the B1, B2 visa in 2014. With approved I-130 days in 2015, those 90 days rule affect me. I filed in my I-485 2019.
Every time you come on a visitor's visa, that 90-day rule affects you. So you got to wait the 90 days.
Anne said, "How do I prove a bona fide marriage when you're filing an adjustment of status shortly after marriage but don't have a financial relationship yet because we just got married?"
Start a financial relationship. You're not getting an interview for months. You have to worry about it at your interview, not when you file.
Lon Ray is saying, if immigration officer promised to send the document collected from me, including my passport, within 2 weeks from the interview date and 3 weeks after the interview, I didn't receive any mail. Should I be worried, or what can I do to request my documents? My case is still under review.
Just wait until you get a decision on your case, and then hopefully they'll respond back to you with your documents.
Oh. Kamal said, "Would you like to tell me..." Yes, we would. If someone has an asylum case and they've been detained at the border, but now they're waiting for their individual date, would marriage, and they've gotten married to a U.S. citizen, his adjustment of status will be done in the U.S., or would he have to go back to his home country for the immigrant visa?
How did he enter America?
Pled asylum and has been detained at the border.
You should be able to adjust.
I am saying my husband, whom we had divorced last month, is a U.S. citizen, so I was wondering if I'm eligible to apply for the passport in 3 years, or should I wait for the 5 years from the day I received the 10-year green card?
It's 3 years from the day you got your conditional green card, provided you're in a bona fide marriage, or 5 years from the conditional green card, not the 10-year.
Ben said, my cousin's spouse's I-130 was approved and sent to NVC, but the spouse is currently in the U.S. Should he mail NVC to send his documents to NBC, as he started the process of the I-485 and has also already done the biometric?
All he has to do is write the letter to the National Visa Center and say, just send it back to USCIS. You don't have to say the specific office and file your adjustment. You don't have to wait for any response from the National Visa Center.
D-Bean says, my sister got her green card through her sister 2 years ago. How long before she can file for citizenship?
Green card, 3 more years.
Bless Angel said, I just did my interview and found, nope, she called. Good for her. Nikisha said, I'm in Jamaica and my husband is an LPR. My I-130 was approved in September and transferred to NVC. What does that mean and what's next?
It means that your I-130 was approved. It was transferred to the National Visa Center, just as you said in your question. They're going to do affidavits of support, fee bills, the DS-230. Once that's all completed, they're going to transfer the file to the U.S. Embassy, wherever country you live in, to get an interview.
All right, this is from Samuel. I don't know if this is the same Sam that called, so...
okay, we'll see.
Let's see. Hi, my wife got a CR1 visa in Nigeria. Can she still stay for 3 months before coming to the USA? Hope the immigration won't bother her at the airport for coming in after 3 months of her getting her visa.
Our conditional resident card, yeah, you can stay out for up to 120 days. And by the way, Belgium Kim, if you can explain, Dawn Harriet wants to know how to do a watch party.
Oh, I got you. I'll tell you in the comments, but also just hit share and start a watch party. You got this. But I got you. I'll tell you in the comments.
Where do you press share?
You hit that little share. It says share.
And there's a couple options
and
down.
So after you hit the share button,
it gives you
options. You can email, you can text. It'll say start a watch party.
You click the start a watch party.
That's
exactly.
How you do it. Okay.
Brad, I'm also going to ask a question that we actually asked and answered yesterday. But it's a big one. She's asked it multiple times, and I feel like she hasn't heard her answer. So we're going to do this. Angel wants to know, just did her interview, found out she was pregnant on the same day as the interview. Would it be a problem if she now goes on Medicare?
No.
Frederick saying, a friend of mine filed an I-485, and when he checked online, the case said that it'll be scheduled for an interview. How long can this take? And can applying for a work permit delay the process in New York?
Applying for the work permit does not delay the process in New York. Adjustment interviews take anywhere from 6 months to 3 years.
Layla said, I'm 62 years old and I'm a green card holder. I applied for my son who's under 21, but I do have some medical bills. Is that going to be a public charge for my son?
Having medical bills is not a public charge.
Bubba is from Gambia, West Africa. My case is the IR1, and I'm still waiting for the interview for more than 3 months. Should I call them? I don't know what I should really do.
IR1, and he's waiting for the interview in Gambia.
So it's been for more than 3 months.
He's married to a U.S. citizen. Well, what has been more than 3 months since the National Visa Center has transferred the file to Gambia, or since your wife filed the I-130? If it's your wife filed the I-130, then you're going to wait a while. If it's the National Visa Center sent it to Gambia and it's 3 months, yeah, call the embassy. And if you're still running into a problem, then you may need us to get involved and call the embassy for you.
Everbless said, Brad, I'm in the U.S. and my green card holder husband's citizenship is currently pending. He filed the I-130 for me and my 2 kids under 21. Can they be here before I get my green card?
Yes. But with a caveat, they're going to want to know that you were married for more than 2 years, because they want the kids to come in as permanent residents, not conditional green card holders. So if your marriage is less than 2 years, the kids may be held up, and you also have to present evidence that you're in a bona fide marriage with your spouse. But provided the interview comes after the 2-year anniversary of your marriage, and you can prove a bona fide marriage, they should allow the kids to come.
Tanisha is saying, hey guys, how long does it normally take for you to receive a receipt notice of an I-130 case transfer? It's been since August and I still haven't received it. I was told the new request is an extra 30 days.
How do you know it was transferred? You went online?
Just said that they received, or no. Yeah, it
I
just
assume
says
she
it's
went
been since
online. I
August.
assume she went online and then the case was transferred. You don't really need a transfer notice. Who cares? You see it online. But you can always request a duplicate copy and just go online and do it. But you should receive it in the mail by now.
Our next question comes from Nikisha, who said, I'm in Jamaica and my husband is an LPR. My I-130 was approved in September. What's next and what does it actually mean?
What was approved in September?
The I-130.
All right, it means that they approved that you're in a valid marriage with your spouse. Now it goes to the National Visa Center, and you got to do the fee bills and the affidavits of support and the DS-230, and then eventually goes to whatever country you're living in, and they'll schedule an interview.
Sam K saying, my wife is 21 and she's filed for an AOS. She filed her last year tax return, but she was a dependent on her mother's tax return in previous years. What should I do? I do have a joint sponsor.
When did they get married?
Does not say.
If you got married in we're now in 2019?
Mm-hmm.
In 2018, you should have a joint tax return with your spouse. If you got married in 2019, then you've done everything right. And in between January and April of 2020, you're going to file a joint tax return for 2019. And if you need a joint sponsor, so get one.
I'm having to extrapolate Shazad's question a little bit, but I think we got it. Brad, does a class action lawsuit work like a mandamus?
No.
Layla saying, I'm a green card holder. I applied for my son who's under 21 and I had a hospital bill. I was qualified for a hospital financial assistant. If I got accepted, is this public charge for my son?
No. Not, well, hospitalization?
Hospital financial assistant.
Yeah.
For what?
They qualified for the son that was under 21.
For hospitalization.
For the son who was under 21?
No, for the mom.
For the mom.
For the petitioner.
I don't know what the assistance is. I would need to know more.
Okay. Bubba, second question from Gambia. Could I call the embassy or NVC to just ask my interview date?
No. Just call the embassy and say, hey, what the hell's going on?
Right.
All right, our last one for right now is from Akmal saying, would you like to tell me...
oh, no, we already asked
All right,
it.
Claudette
All right.
saying, hey, Brad, the criminal record office here in Jamaica is closed down temporarily. Can I submit documents to NVC without going there? So
you need a police clearance.
Okay, and also asking for a friend. Her husband is about to do an affidavit for her. He's a green card holder, but working in Jamaica. Should he get a job letter from his employer to submit with the affidavit of support? He did file his taxes last year, even though he's not worked in the U.S. What should he put as income?
Well, you can put your Jamaican income, but if you're working in Jamaica and you're not working in the U.S., they may take away your green card because you're not permanently living in the United States. So I would be hesitant to do anything until you speak to an attorney.
Oof,
yes.
All right. With that, Yo-Yo, you went out on the streets recently in New York.
Did I?
Yes, you did. That's what it says right here on my card.
What the folk?
What the folk is right. Yeah, so you went out on the streets in New York to test people's knowledge on where in the world some of your favorite fairy tales and folklore stories originate from in something we like to call What the Folk?
What's up, Brad Squad? This is Yonathan Elias out here in New York City. It's a beautiful day. That means it's time to play a game. Now, I hope that you guys are ready because I want to make sure you guys are playing in the comments. Today, we're going to actually test New Yorkers and, of course, yourself on the origins of some of your most favorite and beloved fairy tales and folklores. I want to see how well you actually know your history. Let's go. Hey, I have my friend here. What's your name?
My name is Julie.
Where are you from?
Annapolis, Maryland, Annapolis.
In Maryland. All right, what's your name and where you from?
Bradley Osorio. I'm from Linden, New Jersey.
Hey, all right, New Jersey in the building. What's your name and where you from?
Sue from Virginia.
Hey, are you visiting?
Yes, we're here for my friend's wedding.
Oh, and you look amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is the fashion capital and you're doing it. Let's see you work it. Ooh, okay. Yes. All right, I got my two friends over here. What's your name?
Jada.
And what's yours?
Faith.
Wow. So are you guys ready to go against each other? It's not going to be a team effort here, okay? Who's going to win?
Me. Her.
Oh, what? Come on. Have faith. Faith. All right. Now, first question. You guys know Puss in Boots. Is it from Italy, France, Japan, or Brazil?
Japan. Brazil. I think from France. Italy.
It is from Italy. Good job. Good job.
Oh, thank you.
Italy, I believe.
Yeah. Puss in Boots is a fable written by Italian author Giovanni Francesco Schiaparola. The story is about a devious cat who uses trickery to gain power, wealth, and the hand of a princess in marriage for his low-born master. Devious. Now, Snow White. Is it from Belgium, Germany, Australia, or New Zealand?
Belgium, I believe.
Germany. New Zealand.
One for Jada.
German.
Germany.
Yes, it is. Yeah, good job. Give me 5. You got that one. The German-born brothers Grimm published Snow White in 1812 in the first edition of their collection Grimm's Fairy Tales. The fairy tale includes the classic elements of the modern Disney story we all know and love, like the magic mirror, the poisoned apple, the glass coffin, and the 7 dwarfs. But there's a slightly darker ending for the evil queen in the original story. The prince orders the evil queen to wear a pair of red-hot iron slippers and dance in them until she drops dead for the attempted murder of Snow White. Woo! Alice in Wonderland. Is it from South Korea, Mexico, England, or the United States?
South Korea. United States. England.
England.
Yes. Yes.
England.
Englishman Charles Dodgson was actually a mathematician at Christ Church in Oxford when he first told the story of Alice going down the rabbit hole to the daughters of University Dean Henry Little as the road down the Thames. After the boating trip, 10-year-old Alice Little badgered him to write it down, and Alice in Wonderland was born under the pseudonym Lewis Carroll in 1865. Paul Bunyan.
What's the Paul?
What's a Paul Bunyan? Paul Bunyan was a giant lumberjack with a pet blue ox. So is he from England, Hungary, Panama, or United States?
United States.
Hungary. United States. I don't know, but my guess is United States.
Yes, it is. That's a good guess.
Yes, thank you.
Hungary.
That's what I would think. It's from United States, though. I think it's just because you're hungry because you got the Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, sure, maybe.
Stories of Paul Bunyan's superhuman strength and his pet, Babe the Blue Ox, were told by North American loggers in the 1800s. In 1916, Paul Bunyan was introduced to the masses when freelance writer William B. Loghead introduced him in a promotional pamphlet for the Red River Lumber Company. Now you can find Paul Bunyan in stories, musicals, and even as huge statues in many states across the country. Paul Bunyan. Now, Ugly Duckling.
Okay.
Is it from Ireland, Scotland, Denmark, or Greece?
Can you help me? Can you help me a little bit?
I cannot help you.
I can't cheat. I can try again.
Your kids would not want you to cheat.
That's true. That's what I'm trying to do.
Denmark?
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Denmark.
See what happens when you don't cheat? You get it right.
Oh, yay! Ireland. Denmark.
Denmark.
Yes. That's. How do you know all of this? The Ugly Duckling is a literary fairy tale published by Danish poet and author Hans Christian Andersen in 1843. The story tells of a homely little bird born in a barnyard who suffers abuse from the others around him until he matures into a beautiful swan, the most beautiful bird of all. The story is beloved around the world as a tale about personal transformation for the better. I love that. I was an ugly duckling. I'm a beautiful swan now. So now the tortoise and the hare. Is that from Ethiopia, Greece, Australia, or South Africa?
Australia? No.
I say Australia.
Greece?
Greece. Australia?
It is from Greece. The tortoise and the hare is one of Aesop's fables and is an important lesson of slow and steady wins the race. In case you need a refresher, the story is about a tortoise who challenges a hare to race after getting sick of his arrogant attitude. The hare soon leaves the tortoise behind and is so confident in winning that takes a nap midway through the race. When the hare awakes, however, he finds the tortoise crawling slowly but steadily has arrived before him. Now for all you cocky ones out there, listen, don't let the tortoise take you. Be humble. Now our last one,
Okay.
Sinbad the Sailor. Is it from Iraq, Syria, Botswana, or United Arab Emirates?
Sinbad.
Mm-hmm.
Botswana. Syria.
Syria?
You like Arab?
It's Iraq.
Iraq.
Yeah. Appearing as 17th century addition to 1001 Nights. The story of Sinbad the Sailor hails from Iraq as he embarks upon 7 voyages throughout the seas of East Africa and South Asia. In the stories, he has fantastic adventures in magical realms, encountering monsters and witnessing supernatural phenomena. Well, there you have it, Brad Squad. This was a fun and informative game. Now you guys know exactly where some of your favorite fairy tales and folklores actually come from. I learned a lot, and I hope you guys did too. Back to the studio.
All right, Yonathan, what the folk?
What the folk?
Boy, we hanging out way too much if we
I
said
know,
the same
right?
thing twice. We didn't even plan that.
Yeah, we're the same person, man.
I just got to...
Speed round. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get out of here. Friday!
I just got to remind everybody to follow me on Instagram if you didn't get your immigration question asked and answered and you are part of the Brad Squad and Belgium Kim told you how to become part of the Brad Squad. If it's a simple question, I'm happy to answer it. Just drop me a DM on my Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. Do not video conference me. I will block you. I will.
Damn.
Yeah, it's rude. But I'm happy to answer your questions. Also, don't send me video. Don't send me voice messages. I don't want to listen to them.
Those.
I hate those. But leave your question. I'm happy to help you. If I can't help you, I'll tell you to make a consultation. And maybe you like my picture or two. It's nice to do. At Real Brad Bernstein. Also follow us at Brad Show Live on Instagram. If you follow us at Brad Show Live on Instagram, you can see the best of Brad Show Live every day in our stories, as well as follow our longer videos and parts of our show and all of our best produced content on Instagram at Brad Show Live. At Belgium Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
You can follow me at Travel Queen Kim.
And this weekend I will be covering a parade. What parade? You don't know. So you guys have to follow me at Yonathan Elias TV to find out.
Oh, I know, but I won't say anything.
Don't say anything!
All right. Speed round time.
What are we doing?
Well, Guinness Book of World Records, because this will be a book. This will be a world record. All right. I mean, maybe like Usain Bolt.
Whoa.
Would be able to do this.
What's the new
Shelley Fraser
Shelley
Price.
Price. Maybe Shelley Fraser Price would be able to do this.
Yeah.
But if it was a running race, yes. But this is racing your mouth. Racing your mouth with intelligence.
It's also racing your brain.
Racing your brain.
I prefer racing your brain. It's something.
Right. Me too.
Racing your brain.
Yeah.
Brain race.
Brain race.
Brain race.
All right. 15 questions. I'm going to answer 15 immigration questions in 1.5 minutes. We need complete silence in the studio, please. This needs full concentration. That means J Cube, you have to stop talking.
Please.
Right.
Okay, Little Pizza. Why is she Little Pizza now?
Because it's Little Caesars and she's Pizza,
okay,
so she's Little Pizza now.
Pizza.
I like Little Pizza.
Pizza has to stop talking now. Everyone, I need
I like Little Pizza.
I need full silence, please.
We got this. We've never done this.
This is like when you know the man is gonna walk the tightrope across.
Like where the flying will lend us right now?
Yes, right. You need complete silence in the studio to do this.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Kingpin said, I filed the AOS tax in January. My wife had a baby in September. Should we notify USCIS?
No.
God working for me says, can my wife file a tax for me while I'm waiting for my work permit?
Yes.
Karen said, does child support affect an affidavit of support who has back payments?
Yes.
Love Kanye says, if you file an I-765 from May and still didn't receive your work permit as of yet, is there something wrong?
If it's not 6 months, it's not a problem.
Juliet said, my husband's a green card holder. He filed for his 24-year-old son in 2015. How long will it take for him to come?
About 3-4 more years.
It's me says, my K-1 visa application was mailed yesterday. Would the new rule affect me? And
yes.
Okay.
Lottie Brown said, can USCIS deny your application because you sent it in a few days early?
Yes.
King says, is a Class C misdemeanor bad?
Yes.
Marvelous said, I filed my I-360 and received my fingerprints letter. Want to know how long it's going to take to get approved?
I don't know. Ask the Magic 8 Ball.
Evan says, when does the new immigration policies come into effect?
October 15th.
Olufemi said, as a green card holder, how do I file for my son who's here on a student visa?
You file an I-130.
Cole says, I'm the wife of a U.S. citizen. I filed the I-130. Now I'm ready to file I-485. Do I have to wait for approval of the I-130
No,
before?
file with the receipt notice.
Franco said, I'm a permanent resident since 2002 and got convicted of animal cruelty in 2018. I spent 4 months in jail with 3 years probation. Am I going to get deported?
It's a crime of moral turpitude. You would need to talk to me.
Marjorie says, if my mother is married, if I can file for her, also my son is married, can I file for him too?
Yes.
King said, can Sitch file mandamus if the case is taking too long?
Yes.
Woo! Oh my gosh! Shiznit!
I thought we were blowing up.
Don't you dare say that!
I thought we were gonna blow up.
I
thought we were gonna blow the folk up. Right? Well, we're gonna blow the folk up or what?
This is folking with my blood pressure.
You know what? You know what? I'm so nervous. I gotta get the folk out of here.
I'm right folking behind you.
All right, comments of the day, Belgium Kim.
Sheesh. Could have kept on going on.
I really want everyone to know that they were doing that folkin thing through the entire piece, even when we weren't live.
Oh, really?
We were.
They were? Because I'm listening. I'm not looking at any comments, so I don't know.
All right, yo, you first.
All right, our first comment of the day for Friday comes from Frederick Marie Igor saying, you making me want to go to law school. It sounds fun.
Not that fun. Well, we're fun.
Right.
We're fun.
We're fun. I don't know if law school is fun, but we're fun.
I've known a lot of people that have gone to law school.
And they ain't fun. They ain't fun.
That's not true. They're not fun. They're not fun at all.
Yeah.
Our second one comes from the beautiful Lady Gaza TK, who said, I need my free immigration consultation so I can meet the one and only immigrationologist in the world and also go visit apartment 9J.
Oh. Are y'all having the consultation at my crib?
Oh no, I think that's a wholly different consultation.
That's a whole different that ain't free, right?
That ain't free.
No, can't win that, let me tell ya.
All right, our next one comes from Mrs. Sani saying, hey squad, happy Friday. Brad is truly a team leader. May God continue to bless you and your team. Knowledge is power.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got one from the wonderful Cindy who said, I've actually told everyone around me in Ohio that all roads lead to New York for all of their immigration problems. I told them that there is a field marshal on immigration matters in the person of Brad.
Oh,
hey!
That's nice. Thank you.
And our last comment of the day for the week is actually pretty funny. Evans Michelle saying, Brad knows everything. He eats and sleeps immigration. I wonder if he calls his kids N400 or I-130. He's so good. I'm in awe every time I listen to him. Hashtag great lawyer. Hashtag super smart.
That's very true. I just called and spoke to N400 earlier today. And I told N400s to stop fighting with I-130 because you kids are driving me crazy.
No kidding.
All right. Well, have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800 800-529-5465, and now conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465.